Watch the clip of Mr. GM about the LFG add-on. Now, here's why I went over and I went to do this, okay? I know that I'm going to be focusing and talking about this LFG add-on. Everybody wants to talk about this. People want to get, they want to get their opinions out there. So I'm going to probably talk about that very shortly. After I kill this boss, I'm going to play a video for you guys, okay? All right, here we go.
On the other end of the spectrum, though, there's stuff that's been added to the UI API since then that allows for the creation of add-ons that communicate with each other and can be used to create social networks within the game. We're actually kind of suspicious of these and skeptical about the possibility of add-ons reproducing some of the functionality that we've deliberately removed from Classic that we feel could be harmful to the authentic experience. And we know that once it's out there, saying just don't use it if you don't want it isn't good enough, because it will start to become part of the fabric.
You hear that? You hear that, retards on Twitter? Retards on Reddit? You hear that? Game director disagrees with you. You know, the guy that's a scarab board? Yeah. Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about.
And so we may be restricting some of those new things as well. We're likely going to find some kind of middle ground that combines the old and the new here, with a goal towards making sure that the vast majority of the add-ons that people know and expect function with the goal of an authentic experience.
So how about that? So how about that, boys? How about that?
Now, just to wrap up, there's one big thing that we haven't talked about yet. I know I've heard a lot of...
This is a lot more stuff, but I just want to make sure that that we have that that is documented, and everybody knows that was said by Ian at BlizzCon whenever they were talking about this exact same issue. Okay, let's talk about the rest of this. So Blizzard obviously agrees with me. They know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Joanna went for 60. So here's the thing, is that I was actually much more on the fence about this, and I was like, you know, like, maybe it's just like my perspective since I'm like a streamer and it's easy for me to make groups and, you know, everything like that. But then I saw the same lazy babies that ruined retail WoW, you know, using the same arguments for this as they've used to ruin our current game. And I am against it entirely. I am against it entirely. And that's all there is to it. And I don't think that these things should be in the game. And I feel like as soon as they begin being part of the game, you're going to have new add-ons that are added in that are going to devalue the experience more and more and more. The first thing that people are saying is, oh, well, let's talk about people's idea that this add-on, what are some of the positives? What are the people that are defending the add-on? Let's hear some of the arguments for that, okay? It's for people that want Classic Light. Classic Light's BFA. Go play BFA. Go play BFA. Like, I mean, that's fine. Just go play BFA. I mean, if you want to play Classic Light, just don't buy any expansions for the current game and just play fucking up to 60 or 20 or whatever the fuck, dude. No, that's not, we're not going to do that, man. Go back to fucking retail. Like, the game is designed in a certain way, and there are ways. Who's this annoying person who's spamming me? Just a minute. There we go. There's this idea that the game should obviously change because players have changed. I don't think that's the case. The reason why players have changed is because the game has changed. That's why the game. It's like which came first, the chicken or the egg? The issue is that Blizzard started accommodating the players that were lazy. You know what I mean? And that was the main issue. Korea streamers, you playing Activision? The whole point of trying to bring back Classic? Yeah. Do you hope that beyond Classic they bring back BC? Yeah, of course. Like, I want to see BC again. Everybody wants to see fucking BC again. Classic Plus, etc. Right? Of course, yeah. Casual. Yeah, I don't want... Here's the thing, is if you're a casual player, right? And everything like that, have the fucking dignity to fade out and stop playing the game if you feel like you can't play it casually. And don't fucking keep yourself on life support by begging Blizzard to add new systems into the game that remove the exact things that made you fall in love with it 10 years ago, so the kids today don't have that opportunity. No. have the dignity to fade out into the sunset and call it a fucking day. I did that. I don't raid anymore. I'll never be as good as I used to be. And I don't want the game to change. That's okay. How do you feel about people using leveling guides? The thing is that it's the same thing as the LFG add-on, right? It's like if Blizzard doesn't take it out of the game, right? Let's assume that Blizzard does not take it out of the game. Well, then what do I think about it? I think that you're just cheating yourself out of a great experience. I really feel like that's the main thing. And you're cheating yourself out of the classic experience. And the issue with that is that there are negative and annoying things in the classic experience. And everybody obviously wants to be able to skip certain things. I don't think that being able to, like click a button and immediately find a group is not something that I believe should happen. That's the main point. So how about streamers who spam Dungeons and 60? Doesn't that break the main experience? Well, no, it doesn't, because you're comparing, Tally, the difference that I feel between like your example and what I'm talking about is the difference between an individual changing an experience and a system being added into the game that affects the entire population. So it doesn't matter what one individual person does. It doesn't matter, right? If one person just pays some random person to play their account all the way through, then it's not that big of a deal. I don't care. But if this is something that's consistently done all the time that affects the entire player base, I feel like that's a completely different conversation to have. And that's my main concern. I don't really care about one person. I care about the population of the game as a whole. And I feel like the population of the game as a whole is being damaged whenever you have systems and add-ons like that do, even as Ian admitted, that they will go ahead and they will make it a soft requirement. It's the same as Raider.io. It's not that bad if you're in a guild, you're right, but if you're pugging, it's bad. What about Gear Score? What about like OQ back in the day? All of these add-ons became default expectations. On top of that, you even have in-game systems that function the exact same way. Two good examples, the Legendary Ring and the Legendary Cloak. Both of those things turned into being, instead of a reward from raiding, a requirement to raid. And if you didn't have those two items, you didn't get into a group. Those types of things will create a soft expectation because no player will willingly put themselves at a disadvantage to that degree. Those are the problems that are with the game. I don't really care about one streamer being able to be given Scarabord or some other bullshit. It doesn't matter to me. The issue is whenever everybody is able to do that. It's a huge difference between one individual being able to get something versus every single player on the server being the gameplay experience being changed for the population as a whole, right? Okay, remove this. All right, here we go. This is the one. Okay, I'm gonna pause.
Let's go again. All right, I'm gonna make a Dead Mines group. Dead Mines group. Dead Mines.
Okay.
Testy test.
Okay.
Auto invite on. Description tester.
Okay.
List group. Dungeon group joined. You've joined your group for Dead Mines. So I'm just gonna leave it. Hands off the mouse.
No. All right.
Willie.
No
what
hands.
happens when he signs up?
No hands.
Just sign up.
Boom. That's one.
And I'm in a group.
Boom. That's one. So it has auto invite on and everything like that. So here's another thing, right? Is that I feel like this add-on in itself is not fundamentally harmful in every single way. But what I do think is going to happen is that this add-on will be version 1.0. And then version 1.1 will have different preferences that players can create. And then version 1.2 might have a little thing that you can check to look at people's item level. And then version 1.3 might have some sort of checker with the armory that looks at somebody's gear. And then it's like you see how this happens. And like even if you're okay with the beginning of it, right? Which I don't think this is going to like. It's not. It's bad, but it's also like. I don't know. I'm trying to like find a way to explain this. It's a slippery. So if you think that I'm contradicting, you're retarded. Okay? Like, I'm just saying, you're retarded. You just don't understand, like, any sort of nuance at all. It's okay. You're retarded. The point that I'm making is that this add-on is bad. It is antithetical to the way that the classic WoW is created and designed to be played. This is a fact. Alright? Like, everybody basically agrees with me on this. At least most people do. The majority of people agree with me on this. On top of that, I don't think this add-on, if nothing ever changed, I don't think this add-on will ruin the game. But what I do think will ruin the game is what will come out of this add-on. That's what I was saying before about the different players, and oh, why does it matter how we play the game? We're paying for the game the same as you are. That attitude is what ruins the game. And that attitude can't be allowed in Classic WoW in a popular way. That needs to be shut down every step. That attitude is what the issue is. This add-on is a symptom. That attitude is the disease. It's ruined the fucking game. Because these lazy babies don't know that they're playing an MMO. I'm not okay with it. And what about your guild taking over the server?